Hello friends, my name is Emile and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 65 and in today's episode we are going to be tackling some more one-make races in the East City for Mazda. So for that of course we need a Mazda, and our race for today is the Demio race. I can't quite remember if it's a race or a meeting or a cup or whatever, but either way we need a Mazda Demio, and that means heading to our garage because I already have one. Here is a Mazda Demio. I've been keeping this car for a very long time in my garage for this specific race. So yeah, let's get into our Demio A-Spec, just like our A-Spec RX-7, which was featured an episode or so ago. Anyways, let's go ahead and head to Mazda and let's quickly modify this thing up so it is a little bit more capable than its standard 99 horsepower appearance would lead you to believe. Okay, so there we go, that's the Mazda Demio fully modified. I'm gonna be honest, this thing can take a hell of a lot more power than I was expecting it to. 270 horsepower in a Mazda Demio, Jesus. Anyways, we are going to head into the first race, which is for normal style vehicles. There's also a racing style race, we'll get into that one later. So yeah, let's head into our first race, which is of course on a random course. Of course. We head to a Rome night for our first race with the Mazda Demio, which makes a very weird noise, as you can probably tell. So, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the same on those model Demios, the newer ones. I believe this is actually the first time we've actually done Rome night in the actual proper way around as well, not in the reverse layout. I actually forgot that we have never done this track in the full proper layout before. But yeah, for whatever reason, the Demio makes a very weird noise. Don't know if it does it on the 99s as well. I don't know if it makes this noise stock either. All I know is the Mazda Demio A-Spec will make this kind of weird noise. Kind of reminds me of the noise the RX-7 makes, just a little bit more high-pitched. It is a very weird noise to hear from this vehicle, but nevertheless it does make it a little bit cooler. Which, to be honest with you, I really like the Mazda Demio. This was one of those cars that I was looking at getting for my real life car. Unfortunately there's not many of them about. Similar to the Toyota Start, which was featured many episodes ago now. These vehicles never sold particularly well in the UK, one would assume, and that makes them a little bit hard to procure. That being said, around my town I've seen two of them. I've seen a blue one. There's one reason I want one of these though. People, may be saying, why would you want a Mazda Demio? Look at it. But this car was of course featured in, not only in the Gran Turismo games, but it was also featured in the first ever license test of Gran Turismo 4, which, as we all know, is the second greatest game known to man, potentially. I'm not actually sure if it's definitely up there. I used to say it's my second favourite game of all time. Maybe one of the Forza titles have topped it for me now, because I do love the Forza franchise. But yeah, Gran Turismo 4 is still an amazing game. And yeah, one of the first license tests features a blue Mazda Demio, which is sort of the car which I wanted. And there is one like that around here. And yeah, I believe it's also in the original Gran Turismo you actually drive a Demio. That's in the first ever license test, so technically for most people the first ever car they drove in Gran Turismo is a Mazda Demio, which is kind of interesting considering this thing is not particularly race car-y. But there you go. Honestly, this isn't a particularly great handling it isn't bad, I'll give it that. Not quite as good as the Yaris or the Cinquecento, however I assume this is a lot quicker than those cars because it has it has almost 100 horsepower more than either of those vehicles, which is pretty insane for this thing. It's still handling Rome night pretty well though. This is a relatively challenging track when it comes to driving vehicles around here, and it appears to be doing pretty well, which is good to see, of course, from our little Demio. Of course, it's been a while since we've gone around Road Night. Not a huge fan of Road Night personally. I know a lot of people are. They really like it because it doesn't show up or anything. Me personally, not really a huge fan of this track, if I was to be honest, but there you go, that's just me. So anyways, we are almost done with the Demio. As you can see, we have a huge lead over basically everything else, as you'd probably expect, because I assume our Demio is quite a bit quicker than anything else. Still, the A-Specs are apparently the quickest vehicles here, as you'd probably expect, because they are, of course, modified versions of the standard Demios. Anyways, we get 3,000 credits, amazing, and let's go ahead and racing modify this vehicle. Okay, it's time to racing modify our Mazda Demio. I am looking forward to this. I believe I remember the racing mod for this is actually pretty cool, so yeah, let's have a look at it. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. I like the blue a lot. Let's go with that one. Let's carry that out. Pretty simple race mod, but still pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of the 323 a little bit in that race mod. There's definitely some influences of style there. Anyways, let's head into the next and final race, which is for racing style vehicles once again on a random course. We head to Autumn Ring for our next race with the Whistly Demio. So yeah, let's get into it. I don't think there's any A-Specs in this race actually, which is kind of interesting. In fact, I kind of like that race mod. That one is kind of like this one, but I assume that's for the 99 models. Yeah, there is no A-Specs in this particular race, which is interesting. So yeah, we are the only A-Spec on track. We have a very, very weird sounding A-Spec at that, so let's just see how well we do here. Autumn Ring, track we haven't driven around for quite a while. I wish Autumn Ring Mini appeared not just as a time trial course as it does in the arcade mode. I wish it actually appeared in sort of these randomized races. I think that would be pretty cool if it did. Unfortunately it doesn't, which is a bit of a damn shame if you ask me, but there you go. Yeah, so the Demio is still pretty cool. Again, it's more understeery than the Yaris and the Cinquecento, but it definitely isn't half bad, it has to be said, especially considering I'm putting 270 horsepower through the front wheels and this thing hasn't just made a one tyre fire and killed itself yet. I find that to be pretty good, and there's also no differential upgrades in this vehicle. There is differential upgrades in GT2, however, to what effect they have I really wouldn't be able to tell you. To be honest with you, the only tuning option that I could tell you absolutely works is the gear ratios. I'm not too sure on the effects of anything else in this game when it comes to sort of like tuning the suspension and so on. I'd be interested to have a look into it, but I don't know. Unless you like completely jelly the suspension, I don't think it makes all that difference. That being said, I did modify the rally cars. I believe I put them on higher suspension, just to be on the safe side with those, but yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really know if it had a positive or negative effect or whatever. So yeah. Anyways, we're winning by a considerable margin, provided you don't understeer off, you silly Demio. What did I use? This was the Domino, I believe, because, yeah, I wish they'd called this thing the Domio. Yeah, the Domo. I wish they'd call this thing the Domino instead of the Demio, but Demio's is not a bad name. As far as Japanese names go, is not a bad name for a car, admittedly. Anyways, we're across the line. We've beaten all the other Mazda Demio things by quite a bit, and just to prove my point, yeah, no A-Specs. Now I'm curious, was that... Oh, that's the GLX, that's the LX. Ah, it's a GLX Special 98. You see, you gotta know your Demios. It's vital information that could come in handy later on. Anyways, you get 5 grand, and I will see you in a second. So there we go, that is the Demio race complete, and that means there is only one more one-make race to do here in the East City, and that's the AZ1 Challenge. So join me for that next episode. As always, I want to thank you all very, very much for watching. My name's been The Real Emile, and until next time, farewell.